Hey everyone, it is Coach Silas Sham here from Absolute Soccer Strategic Player Development. Today we're really excited to bring you a new series called TAC Tuesdays. Technical, Tactical Tuesdays. Every Tuesday we're going to look at a different element of the game, technical or tactical, to make us better on the field. So today, specifically, we're going to look at striking the ball, at shooting. And there's 4 key things we want to look at. The first thing is going to be how we shape our bodies, how we position ourselves, and how we use the body that we have to maximize the amount of energy we're putting through the ball, to strike well. The second thing we're going to look at is specifically our plant foot, where it's facing, how it should be facing, what distance it should have in relation to the ball, and how we can strike well. The third thing we're going to look at are our eyes. Where should we be looking when we strike the ball? How do we strike the ball well? And so that's the third element, and the last element is going to be our follow-through. 4 things that we'll look at today. Let's go take a look at some examples.
So we're going to start by taking a look at a great goal from Chelsea, specifically Pedro here. Ball gets played into him from Matic. He cuts back, has some room, and strikes the ball top left corner, 1-0. Great goal here, and let's run it back in slow motion. Again, we're not going to focus so much on the tactics for what made this goal possible, but rather the technique that it takes to be able to strike the ball like Pedro did. So again, he receives the ball, he shifts it back against the grain, creates a yard or two of space, and then strikes the ball while landing on his kicking foot. That is crucial, and here we're going to see why. So as he's approaching the ball, look here in this freeze frame. Notice that his head is down. One of the most common mistakes that I see with younger players especially is that they look up way too early when they are striking the ball. They want to see the ball go into the net. But some of the best goals that you'll ever score, you'll never see. Anyone who has ever trained with me, specifically on striking, has heard me say this over and over. If it leaves your foot good, it's going to be good out there. If it's good down here at the feet, it's going to be good in the net. As Pedro is approaching the ball right now, he is marking a spot on the ball with his eyes. Specifically, since he wants to get a little curl on the ball that goes left to right, he hits off center to the left. And then as he follows through, you'll see, he makes sure that his foot contacts that spot that he's already marked with his eyes, so that he knows the ball's going to go exactly where he wants it to go, into the top left corner. Second, take a look at his arm. On the one hand, this is helping him balance as he's about to be standing on his plant foot, but also this is the beginning motion of how he's going to maximize all his energy in his core. So kicking isn't just an action that happens from your leg. You don't just swing your leg. To use your full body, you need to engage your core to maximize your kinetic potential. We'll explain what this means, particularly in the next couple frames. Lastly, the arrow pointing to his feet is just telling us to pay attention as we look at his plant foot in the upcoming frames. As this clip progresses, look where his plant foot is now. See how it is turned towards the goal? This little change in his plant foot is going to help him align his hips and his kicking foot towards the goal so that he can have a smooth transfer of energy through the ball into the top corner. Now let's look at his arm. In the last frame, his arm was on the way up, but now it has reached its height. And so this is helping him stretch his body, his core, specifically so that he can contract it again in the next frame on his follow-through. Think of him like an elastic band. When you pull it out and stretch it, you give it potential. And then when you release the elastic band, it all contracts really quickly, and that's what gives us the energy and the power through the elastic band. It's the same thing going on with his body. He's stretching his body in preparation to bring it all together quickly. And in bringing it together, that's how he's going to generate even more power. His head is down just like it was before, marking a spot on the ball and watching his foot about to contact that spot on the ball. And lastly, notice the flexibility that he's showing with his heel almost kicking himself in the butt. One of the things that we see with youngsters who haven't developed the coordination yet to control different parts of their leg separately is that kids oftentimes kick with a straight leg. So you'll see this big swing and their leg won't bend. It's like they're kicking with a board. Well, that's not the case here. By flexing his foot towards his butt, it's going to allow him to generate even more whip through the ball, which translates into faster ball speeds and just more power. Think about driving a golf ball. On the downswing, you're trying to store as much energy as you can in the golf club so that when the club head hits the golf ball, that point of contact transfers all the stored energy through the back of the ball, resulting in greater distances and greater speeds. Same thing going on here. Pedro's lower leg is flexed so that when his upper leg is moving forward, it doesn't need to work as hard. It's not carrying as much resistance. Then, the lower part of the leg whips through the back of the ball, transferring all the energy that he has stored, all that energy in that long elastic band, that all goes through the single point on his foot, that one point of contact. This is how we kick effectively, and this is how we kick maximizing the energy output that we can create with our bodies. In this freeze frame, you can clearly see that his plant foot, the white on his shoes, is facing the goal. Crucial point. And then also, notice, his head is still down. He hasn't looked up yet. Now we see Pedro start to contract his muscles and transfer his energy through the ball. Notice his arm that was up is now coming down, and he's starting to bring his leg, left one, through the back of the ball with a locked ankle offset to the center left. So that is going to make the ball go left to right into the top left corner. Plant foot is clearly facing the goal now, and notice again, head is still down. Do we see a theme here? Head is still down. He's watching his foot connect with the ball. Now watch as he explodes through his range of motion. The arm is coming across, his leg is going through, and look here. So that red line on the upper right is where his arm was, but now you see his hand across his body. He's using that to generate all that energy through his core, to transfer that through his leg. He's crunching. So again, kicking isn't just with your leg. It incorporates the entire body, and especially the core. Also, his head is still down. The last thing I want to focus on is the follow-through. Notice that he lands on his kicking foot. I say this over and over for the players that I coach. Land on your kicking foot, especially when you're doing an instep drive, when you're striking with this part of your foot. With other kinds of shots, you can get away with different kinds. You don't want to land on your kicking foot when you're chipping, per se, but when you're doing an instep drive like this one, from distance, you need to land on your kicking foot to transfer the most amount of energy as possible through the back of the ball. If you land on your kicking foot, it means that all the momentum that you are carrying with your body is going through your foot through the back of the ball. It's crucial to shoot this way. So here's the same shot in slow motion. Again, look at the elongated body shape, how his plant foot is going to be facing the goal. He's looking down. He's about to transfer all his energy through the back of the ball, and then he lands on his kicking foot. Hammer time. Great shot. Same thing here. Take a look. Takes a turn, looks around, creates a yard or two of space, and now, same thing. Elongated body, head down. Really see his loaded leg there. Whips through the ball, and now lands on his kicking foot, top corner. So to end today, I've included three more examples of this kind of shooting technique. Again, landing on your kicking foot, you have your head down, you are marking a spot on the ball, you are watching your foot connect with the ball, you are having your plant foot towards the goal, and you've stretched your body to maximize the amount of energy you can transfer through the ball. In this case, it helps if you're Matic and you're about 6'5", to be able to generate the kind of power he does to beat Hugo Lloris. Great shot. But here we have a 16-year-old, Callum Hudson-Odoi, in the FA Cup final. Look at that strike. Notice he does all the things we just talked about. Here he controls the ball well, he makes a run into the box, dashes past the defender, and turns his plant foot, adjusts his hips, looks down, head is over the ball, he marks the spot, and he connects through it. Look again here. Here he goes, he is lining it up, he's marking the spot on the ball with his eyes. His body is elongated right there, Plant foot is towards the goal, lands on his kicking foot, and he strikes that so sweetly. I don't think you could score a better goal. 16 years old. So for all you thinking, oh, only professionals can do this kind of shot. No, no, no. He's 16 years old. This is something that we can learn. It just takes lots of practice. This last example is Michael Ballack in the 2008 Euros. He crushes this ball. And look at the replay, you're going to see everything we've talked about so far in this video that he puts into practice. You can see his head down, watching the ball, watching the spot. His arm goes up to stretch his body. His foot connects with it, and he lands on his kicking foot. Look at that shape. Look how high he is. He just transferred everything through the ball. His plant foot was facing that corner. Everything goes through the ball to make a fantastic free kick. Also notice his flexibility with the lower part of the leg. Look at that shape. He's just trying to maximize his body. Lands on his kicking foot, comes across. Again, crushes it. You can't score a sweeter free kick.
Alright, so we just went pretty deep into the mechanics of kicking. Again, there's more that we could do, but I hope you found this helpful. I hope you found it informative. And moving on from here, check back next week for TAC Tuesday. We'll look at a different element, and just excited to train this upcoming weekend. Hope you guys are alright, and we'll see you soon.